Today, I want to share with you the things that I learned in this last 10 years living in Vietnam that will give you a head start. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into the first one. Adopting to the culture and getting over the language barrier. When you first come to Southeast Asia, it's going to be crazy. You're going to see so many things that are going to make you confused, excited, or even frustrated. But the best thing I can tell you to do when you first get here is to understand this is not home. Vietnam is nothing like the rest of the world. It is not like most of Asia, and it's definitely not like the West. So the best thing you can do when you first get here is to just be open to the changes and the chaos that comes with this place. And to make this a lot easier, learn some of the language. This could just be the basic 50 words. I've done many videos on how to use AI for free to learn a language out here. And if you don't want to learn the language, that's perfectly fine. Just be observant of what people are doing around you. Start understanding what the culture norms are. There's a lot of things that we do out here in Vietnam that are not normal in the West. And to give you a few ideas of what are some things that you're going to deal with out here that are just not normal in the West is pushing in line, yelling in public, throwing trash on the ground. These types of things I have seen have been the most frustrating things to a lot of expats that I meet out here. But these are the ways of life out here. If you try to tell a local person to pick up their trash or to stop yelling or to keep their feet on the floor, you will get a lot of backlash. And start adapting to it. This doesn't mean act like the local people. Not at all. Do not do this. You will actually get backlash for this. If you walk around throwing trash on the ground, urinating on public signs, yelling in public, putting your feet on everything, you will have people coming up to you, local people, mind you, telling you to show some respect to their country. So if you're worried about fitting in, just kind of meet in the middle. Don't be too crazy, but still kind of keep your cool when it comes down to things. The best thing you can do out here is just make local friends and start becoming part of the culture. So come out here, enjoy the culture, enjoy the life that you have out here, and understand what's happening out here is just a way of life. You're not going to change or fix it. Now, earlier I talked about making friends out here. This is a massive thing you need to do. And the reason for this is it really helps your cost of living go down a lot. Which brings us to our next subject, navigating the cost of living. You guys have probably seen all these videos on how to live cheap in Vietnam, how you can live on $400 or $500 a month, and how you can really get by with almost nothing. This is true. You can live in Vietnam for $400 or $500 a month, but you're eating unhealthy street food. You're living in housing that's probably not the safest thing that you should be in. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to pay for the high price stuff. There's always a way to go about it. Having local friends will allow you to find these places and really have options. This is where learning a lot of the language will really benefit you. If you're going to a market speaking Vietnamese, you're going to get a better deal. Now, do be aware that some of the biggest problems that local Vietnamese people deal with are getting scammed at markets. So you will always run into a scam. It is very hard to not be scammed in Vietnam. This is what we deal with as foreigners. This is what local people deal with. And when it comes to finding these friends, there's so many ways in Vietnam. You have Facebook, you have Zalo, you have Viber groups, all these different types of groups out here. Go out in town, talk to people. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a hermit. The more you communicate with locals, the more you're going to be invited into a lot of these situations. And this will allow you to have a better life out here without sacrificing your health or your standard of living. So start going to local grocery stores, going to these public parks, stuff like that, and start avoiding places like Bui Vinh or Khao San Road and all these other party street roads. And the benefit of this is in the long run, your cost of living starts to fall down overnight and your quality of life and your health don't get sacrificed with this. And this brings us to the number 3 subject, making Vietnam a home through connections. While living in Vietnam for so long, the connections that I made out here, being the local people, has made my experience 1000% better than what most expats deal with. And not to mention, it's got me in places that most people cannot see or go to. And it takes me back to when I first moved to Vietnam in 2015. 9 months in, I had my own building, my own company. I opened my first school. I was hiring staff. I was writing work permits for people. And this all happened because I had connections out here. So not only does it allow me to do things, it allows me to fast forward a lot of the processes and the bureaucracy to get things done. So make local friends. If it's not for your own business interests, it's at least to have a better experience out here in Vietnam. And while you're making these local friends, don't forget about the expats. Being out here in Vietnam is great. You're going to meet a lot of people that speak the language and you're going to speak the local language, but this doesn't mean they understand your culture or your mindset. So make sure that you make friends with expats. They're not going to be long lasting, unfortunately, because most expats, they come and they go, but you're going to be able to sit down with them, have a beer, have a coffee, and really express yourself and have deep conversations with people out here. Because local Vietnamese people, even though I speak the language, I understand the culture. They don't understand my culture, my mindset, and what I think. So make sure you have local expat friends. Even if they're going to be short term, it keeps you sane. And if you don't know where to go out to the bars, go out to local coffee shops, meet the coworkers that you work with at these English schools, go to the tourist sites, go to a hostel for the night on the weekend, and just act like you're new to the country. Whatever it takes, make some expat friends as well as making some local friends. You got to make this combination so you don't go crazy, because you will. And finally, let's get to the last one, the bureaucracy of living in Vietnam. You guys have seen all these videos posted all over. You've seen lawyers do them. You've seen expats talking about it, where the best spot to retire is Vietnam, or how to retire in Vietnam. I'm going to be the honest guy here for you. You cannot legally retire in Vietnam. The country doesn't offer an option. They want you to come as a tourist, spend your money, and go home. This is what Vietnam is. This is a reality of what Vietnam is. And of course, you can get married. If you're a descendant of somebody that's from Vietnam, you have options to stay here longer. But again, it's still not permanent. So when it comes to the visa situation, if you're a normal person like me, like yourself, you're going to come out here with two main options. One, you're going to get a job. If you work out here, you can get 1 to 2 year work permit out here that allows you to stay in Vietnam for those 2 years as long as you're holding in that job. The second option is just doing visa runs. You can get 3-month visas. You're going to have to leave the country. You're going to have to come back. And this is a never ending process. And the unfortunate part about this is the process could cost between $700 to $1,000 a year to do this visa run. And this is not just the visa cost itself. It's flying to another country. It's doing another visa in another country. It's paying an agent to take you back and forth every 3 months. And this cost is extreme. Places like the Philippines, $1,000 will give you tourist visas for a total of 3 years. Or in Vietnam, it'll barely cover the year. There is no longevity of living in Vietnam long term. Now, the other option, just to keep the doors open for you, is if you do decide to get married out here, you will get a 3-year marriage certificate, and then you'll get a TRC that's up to 5 years. This means that you can stay in the country long term. The TRC, though, stands for temporary residency card. So this, again, doesn't mean that you're here long term. You are still under the discretion of the Vietnam government if they approve you to stay long term. And if you want to go farther than that and you want to start a company out here, you do have the option to get an investor visa out here. I strongly recommend not doing it. Talk to a lawyer out here. It is not as easy as people try to make it sound. I've done 2 of them. They are hell. They cost a lot of money. There's a massive process, and you're constantly bouncing around agents and lawyers. So if you are serious about opening a company out here, do look into that and really make sure what you're trying to open has a value out here. Opening an English center in Vietnam makes no sense in 2025. English is no longer required. So now you're offering a service that's more of a cosmetic than it is a value. And when it comes to these visa processes, the number one thing I can tell you guys is try to avoid the agents. If you need to do an e-visa, use the government website. It's $25, you're done. Agents will charge you so much. If you need to do a visa run, there are agents you can use out here that can give you a good deal, make it faster, same day turnaround. I get that. Do what you got to do. When I think about the last 10 years of living in Vietnam, one of my biggest mistakes was I did those visa runs and I never really saw the other countries around me. Go to Thailand, go to Cambodia, go to Laos, go to Malaysia. And really spend a few weeks there. See the country before you come back to Vietnam to renew that e-visa. So check out these other countries. They are worth it. So I think that does it for today, guys. This is how I survived in Vietnam for 10 years. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's been an adventure, but I've learned a lot. So if you have any other questions about Vietnam, definitely leave a comment below or join the members group. I give you one-on-one content and help on what you can do out here to start businesses, get married if that's what your process is, or advice about getting a job out here and being a teacher. And if you want to see my life's been like out here in Vietnam for 10 years, check out my playlist for the Vietnam. I've been through so much out here. Hundreds of videos of just everything in Vietnam. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you did like this type of content. So thanks for watching. I will see you again.